Maura Murray vanished on the 9th of February 2004 when she was just 21 years old. But her disappearance is not just any other cold case, it was the first missing persons case to cause an online frenzy. Often cited as the first mystery of the social media age for a disturbing reason, on the day she vanished, Facebook was just 5 days old, giving the public the new ability to become online sleuths. But 8 years after Maura Murray went missing, an elusive YouTuber user uploaded a video, inserting themselves into the investigation and changing the case forever. But what actually happened? Murray was born in Brockton, Massachusetts in May 1982. She was a well-liked student and a star athlete on the track team at Whitman-Hanson Regional High School. She then moved on to study chemical engineering for 3 semesters at the US Military Academy in New York before she returned to Massachusetts to attend university there studying nursing. Up to this point, Maura Murray was known as a friendly young girl with a normal life. But 3 months before her disappearance, she began displaying some strange behaviour. It seemed to start on February 4th, 2004, just 1 week before she vanished. While working at her security job on campus earlier in the evening, Murray received a call from her older sister. At 10:30 p.m, she reportedly broke down in tears while still on shift. When asked about it, Murray could only say 2 words: "My sister." The contents of this call would remain a mystery to the public until 2017, when we found out that her sister was a recovering alcoholic who had been discharged from a rehab clinic. That night, her fiancé had taken her to an alcohol store and caused a relapse. On February 7th, presumably to check on her, Murray's father Fred went to visit her. They went car shopping, then out for dinner, and returned to the motel room he was staying at for the night. Later in the evening, she borrowed his car to go to a dorm party. When she left this party at 3:30 a.m. on February 8th, she crashed into a guardrail on Massachusetts Route 9 in Hadley, causing $10,000 worth of damages on Fred's car. Luckily, Murray wasn't injured. An accident report was written by an attending officer, but there were no signs of any sobriety tests conducted on her. She was returned to her father's motel room, where she would stay for a few hours until her dad rented another car and dropped her off at her dorm before heading home himself. At 11:30 that night, he called Murray to remind her to grab the accident forms, and it was after this that everything started getting confusing. 30 minutes later, Murray searched for a route to the Berkshires and Burlington in Vermont using MapQuest, a 3-hour and 30-minute car journey. The first sign of contact she had with anybody on the day of her disappearance was with her boyfriend when she sent him this email at 1 p.m. "I love you more, stud. I got your messages, but honestly I didn't feel like talking to much of anyone. I promised to call today though. Love you, Maura." What followed throughout the next few hours was a strange string of calls and emails. She rang to inquire about renting a condominium in New Hampshire that her family had stayed at before. She then called her fellow nursing students just afterwards at 1:13 p.m. After this, at 1:24 p.m, she emailed her work supervisor to inform them that she would be away for a week due to a tragic passing in her family and that she would be in touch when she returned. There had been no such passing in the family though. She then called another number at 2:05 p.m. to try and book a hotel in Stowe, Vermont, before calling her boyfriend at 2:18 p.m, leaving him a voicemail. At 3:30 p.m, she had packed up most of her stuff and drove off. 10 minutes into her journey, CCTV caught her as she stopped off to withdraw $280 from a cash machine. She then purchased around $40 worth of booze with it. She drove to pick up the accident forms and left Amherst between 4 and 5 p.m. The last recorded use of her mobile phone was at 4:37 p.m. when she called voicemail. She presumably headed straight for New Hampshire because just after 7 p.m, a resident in Woodsville heard a thud outside the front of her house. When she looked out of her window, she saw a car crashed into the snowbank along New Hampshire Route 112. A local bus driver stopped by the same scene, which is when he saw Murray walking around outside of her car. He offered to take her somewhere that she could call for help, but she reportedly pleaded that he didn't, telling him that she had already called the AAA and they were on the way. The driver accepted her excuses after a while, but as he drove on home, he remembered something horrifying. There had never been any phone signal in that area, so she couldn't have called anybody. The police log says that officers arrived at 7:46 p.m, although this is contradicted by another resident's report. She says that she was driving home nearby the scene at around 7:37 p.m, and she saw a police car parked face to face with Murray's. She pulled over, but there was nobody there. No victim or officer. So who here is telling the truth? The transcript of an interview with this woman, Karen McNamara, revealed that when she reported to the police that she'd seen the car, they told her it was impossible, as that car was out of commission, but she was certain she saw it parked nose to nose with Murray's sedan. This account caused no end of confusion online, leaving people wondering what could have possibly happened. Were the police lying for a reason? But as weird as the situation was, Maura Murray was still missing. The police officer found empty bottles of alcohol strewn around the car, as well as red wine stains inside and outside, general items, directions to Burlington, the blank accident report documents she'd picked up earlier, and her favourite teddy bear, as well as a book called Not Without Peril that covered climbing in the White Mountains. Murray's car had hit a tree on the driver's side. The left headlight was severely damaged, the radiator had been pushed into the fan, the windshield had cracked on the driver's side, and both airbags were deployed. Based on what we know about Murray's movements now, the items she took from the car appeared to be her phone, cards, and a few of the booze bottles. She must have gathered some stuff and fled the scene on foot within the 10 minutes between the bus driver leaving and the police car apparently arriving, meaning she must have really not wanted to be caught. The last ever confirmed sighting of Maura Murray was that night. A contractor was heading home from work in New Hampshire on the bus when he saw a young woman walking quickly east along Route 112, just around 5 miles from the car crash, sometime between 8 and 8:30 p.m. After residents of the area and the police drove around in attempts to find her, nothing turned up and her car was towed to a local garage. But the strangest thing was that when they looked over the car, they found a rag stuffed into her muffler pipe. Could this have been a sign of some kind? Was she trying to conceal any smoke coming out of the car to avoid being pulled over? Or did someone else put it in there with foul play in mind? The outcome of this was never certain. And Maura Murray was declared missing by authorities at noon on February 10th. On the morning of the 11th, police sent a tracking dog looking for Murray by using her scent on one of her gloves. It managed to track the scent around 100 miles east but abruptly lost it, leading authorities and the internet sleuths alike to believe that she left the area by getting into another car. Initially, authorities suspected that Murray may have been in a bad mental state and possibly a danger to herself, but her family seemed to believe that this was highly unlikely. And up until this very day, Maura Murray's family have tried to locate her or find some kind of lead to tell what could have happened to her that night. But nothing was ever discovered officially. A few red herrings were thrown into the mix, but ultimately, Murray's fate is still officially unknown. But that is when things start to get interesting. During the investigation, the Murray family were interviewed a few times, and in one of these interviews, Maura's father Fred was quoted saying, "Some dirtbag took her." And soon, that name Dirtbag would come back around to bite him. Because on February 9th, 2012, on the 8-year anniversary of Murray's disappearance, a YouTube channel called 112Dirtbag posted this video. A few more videos were posted that all had something to do with her disappearance. It probably won't surprise you when I say that the original YouTube channel with all of these videos on was deleted, so all of these are re-uploads coming from 2 different channels. But knowing that they originally came from the same guy is terrifying. The next video was entitled Road 112, a short video showing the road that Maura disappeared on. The next is a clip of a photo showing a ticket for a mountain resort in New Hampshire with a strange noise in the background. And the final video is another still image with a strange frequency, but this time it depicts Morse code. A few people have tried to translate it, some believing it to be gibberish, but others were able to decode it to this message. Life is a dirty mystery because we never know what is being touched. But today I am tired of those who cannot appreciate its gift. Because of how creepy these videos actually were, the police conducted a search and managed to deduce that the creator of these videos was a man called Alden Howes Olson. He was very heavily involved with the online sleuthing into Maura Murray's disappearance, even having a somewhat well-known blog that often discussed the case that he started in 2009. As creepy as these videos were, when the police found Olson and raided his house, they found nothing of note. He was mainly trying to insert himself into the case, being known as someone who was not mentally well. Soon ostracised from the case, the police spent no more time thinking about Alden Olson. But this was when a whole new theory came to light. A lot of witnesses who were interviewed at the same time mentioned seeing the same red truck with a Massachusetts plate. One woman said that the truck followed her to a store near the area that Maura Murray crashed her car. According to her, it looked like it was waiting on a nearby road before moving to follow her. It slowed down as she walked up a hill and sped off before parking in the store car park. Given all of the evidence we have, this truck would have been around 10 minutes ahead of Maura that night. Could they have been waiting for her? Why? Could the red truck theory explain why police dogs suddenly lost her scent? Was she bundled into the truck? Or did she think she was hitching a lift to her destination, not knowing that she'd walked directly into a trap? The rabbit hole does not even end there, however, because there's another strange detail to add into this story. There was a house around a mile from the accident at the snowbank that the Murrays and sleuths alike always thought was suspicious. So in 2019, they hired private investigators to send cadaver dogs to search the nearby area. When they hit the house, the dogs reportedly went bonkers. They then conducted a radar scan and spotted something under the basement floor. And soon a lot of people believed that this house was the place that Maura Murray was cruelly taken to and forced to take her last breath in. But when this information was reported to the police, any investigation they did was seemingly kept a secret. According to the Murrays, the authorities withheld a lot of information regarding their daughter's disappearance. But eventually this theory was disproved, as the house was actually a grow room, and any signs of blood found anywhere were too small for any kind of sample testing at the time. The stains were also just consistent with someone cutting their finger whilst working on the plants they were growing. So what really happened here? With all the hidden information, could there be some kind of protection ring for a local killer? A big cover-up? Did she run away and attempt to change her identity? Or is this case really as clear-cut as quite a lot of people think it is? A lot of commenters on the case had direct experience with the kind of terrain that Maura Murray was dealing with in the depths of February's winter. Many said that they were sure the elements would have claimed them had they not had company or proper provisions. 2 things Maura Murray did not have when she vanished down Route 112. Succumbing to the elements and being missed by the searches is a very sad yet realistic theory. But what do you think? Is there information we haven't considered here? We want to hear from you. What do you make of 112Dirtbag? Was he involved? Or just an internet troll seeking attention? Drop your thoughts in the comments section. But most importantly, let's never stop looking for Maura Murray. Our thoughts are with her family as they continue to search for the truth. Stay safe out there. I'll see you in the next one.